Hi, this is Tim, and I'll be talking about conversation, discussion, and presentation for the Week 6 prompt for EDUC 7718. I made a mind map using a program called MindMeister that you can find online. And this helped me to organize my ideas for the discussion. So when I think about conversations, I think of conversations as being an informal opportunity to share ideas, usually among people who have equal power within the conversations. One thing I believe about conversations and from after the readings is that conversations are often impeded by technology and not enhanced by technology. One example that comes to mind is from the text, the Turkle text, Alone Together, where she recounts the story of a grad student who complained about being interrupted or being put on pause by his friend when his friend answered a cell phone as they were having a conversation. This is something we can all relate to, and I think we can see that in our daily lives how conversation is often interrupted by technology. When I think about discussions, I think of them as definitely being more topic driven by than conversations, and often they were among people of equal power relationships. However, discussions can be dominated by people who are in positions of greater power. And also, conversations I think can be enhanced and impeded by technology. For example, in a literature circle, if students are sharing ideas and discussing a book online, we might hear from more voices, and some of the students who wouldn't normally speak up in a face-to-face conversation might contribute more to that discussion. However, discussions can also be impeded by technology. I think of the examples that Turkle gave, such as that involve multitasking. If somebody is participating in a discussion and checking their email at the same time, then they're really not focusing very well on either one. And the idea that multitasking is a skill that can help students is really being found that it's actually could be impeding students. Presentations are really an opportunity to deliver content, and I think that presentations are often enhanced by technology with many tools that are available. And presentation really, in a presentation, the power seems to reside mostly with the presenter. The presenter decides who participates, what the agenda is, what the topic is, and so forth. So as I was reading the Turkle chapters, I started to think about ways in which we communicate. I ended up looking in my basement for an old box of letters, and here's just a few of the letters from that box. These are letters that were written to me when I was living in Brazil 20 years ago, and I reread a couple of the letters, and they brought back memories. I still felt a connection to the writers of the letters. Some of these people I'm still in touch with, some I've lost touch with, but I still felt that connection as I was reading some of the letters. And here's an example of how we have conversations today. My son, who is in the Army, is stationed in Hawaii, and this is what a lot of our conversations look like. They're short bursts of text. And these, for me, don't have as much meaning as the letters do. When I look at these texts, I realize that they're really just the way that my son is used to communicating, and there's a convenience in being able to communicate with him that way since he lives 6 time zones away. But it's not the same as having the letters. When I think about how my son has grown up, he did use technology a lot as a child, I can remember trying to get him to write letters when he would go away to summer camp, and each year I'd be repacking the same self-addressed stamped envelopes when he went to camp, and he would never use them from year to year because he's just not used to communicating in that way. Another thing about the texting is the immediacy of it compared to the letter writing. When my son was deployed in Afghanistan, it was very convenient to be able to have instant communication with them through email and texting, but at the same time, it could also cause me concern because if I sent him an email and he didn't respond within a day, I would begin to worry. However, if we had just relied on letter writing, I wouldn't expect a response in a day. I would expect a response in maybe 4 or 6 weeks, and I would think it normal for him to take that long to respond. So it's interesting to see how there's some conveniences to instant communication, but the old ways does still seem to have a lot of advantages. And when you look at the letter writing and the texting side by side, I'm immediately just drawn to the letter writing side because you can see the colors, the handwriting, almost see the personality of the person that comes through in the way that they wrote the letter. Letters tend to be much longer, more in depth, and again, they can be saved over time just as text can be, but I think it's sometimes more satisfying to go back and look at a letter than to go back and look at a series of texts. So perhaps it's just nostalgia, or perhaps we do need to go back to other ways of communicating and rethink the ways that we have conversations with each other. So this concludes my discussion of the week 6 prompt for the text Alone Together. Thank you.